First question about the Supreme Court. Trump should have said, hey, RBG bet wrong. She could have retired in 2014. She bet wrong, thought Hillary would win, and she had to sleep on the job the last bunch of years, and so elections have consequences. Democrats shouldn't be rewarded for that, for betting wrong, for RBG thinking that Hillary would win. Like, hey, you had to regret everything on your deathbed. Trump should have said that as to why they should put in the Supreme Court third pick right now. Trump saying, are you going to pack the court?
You're in voting now. Vote and let your senators know how strongly you feel.
Take it further. Are you going to pack the court? Trump needs to look at the camera. He didn't go far enough on this topic either. Answer the question. You're going to destroy the Supreme Court and change it from 9 to 11, 13, 15, and just keep upping the Supreme Court justices until you get the edge again, liberals? That's what Trump needed to go after. He needed to just directly say to the American people, hey, Democrats are saying they're going to blow up the Supreme Court and put 1 million people on the court. They're just going to pack it and change the number from 9 to however many they need until liberals have more people on the court again. It's crazy. He needed to go after him hard on that. So two things. I don't think Trump pushes hard enough. He's not articulate enough, but it's all right. He's not articulate. He's not Obama. He just says what's on his mind, and all the thoughts don't come to his mind at once. So that's the second commentary that I have, where he didn't go far enough so far early on in this debate. I'm distracted. But yeah, now they're talking about the virus. China virus. It's all Trump's fault. Old people think it's Trump's fault. People without jobs now think it's Trump's fault. Good media brainwashing has totally made this the China virus election. It's totally rigged for that reason.
China's fault. It should have never happened.
Trump did perfect right here.
From going in, but it was China's fault. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count. Just so you
Yep, I did a whole video on that.
Look at what we've done. I closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist.
Right here, I did a whole video on that. North Korea says 0. All these third world countries, they don't report. Tribes and villages and caves in Afghan and the jungles in Congo. So, perfect on this one. He went far enough. He was articulate.
Aren't. Even younger people aren't.
Young children aren't. He didn't say. And teens are out partying. College kids are out partying, spraying it, and they aren't bothered by it either. He's like, we learned a lot. Old people, diabetic, heart problems. They're the risk. Young little kids aren't. And then he didn't talk about how all the college kids are out partying and they don't give a damn and it's not affecting them. He needed to go further with that point too and be like, look, it's only really affecting old, at-risk people. Come on, Trump. But it's so obvious. This is the stupid China virus nonsense, brainwashing, rigged election. Yep. Yeah, and he needed to go further, saying, hey, and you want to lock down again, suicide goes up, domestic violence goes up, drug abuse goes up, super depression, anxiety, isolation, everything negative goes way up, and it's totally worse than the amount of actual deaths caused directly from the virus. You are more at risk to die in a car crash than to die of the virus. And locking everyone down again, which Biden wants to do, is so detrimental to the millions of people for all those reasons I just said, way more than the China virus actually is a risk of you getting and dying or being harmed by.
Holding much smaller events with
nobody will show up.
Nobody
shows up to his
Even the commentator, moderator, freaking laughed right there. He let it slip.
And literally on 24 hours notice. And Joe does the circles and has 3 people someplace.
The circles of 3 people at his rally.
Last for good rallies he had, and basically encourage him not to.
All right.
And he's a fool on it.
If you could get the crowds, you would have done the same thing. But you can't. Nobody cares.
Gentlemen, can we move on to the...
Nobody cares about your little 3 people rallies, Joe. Nobody cares. You would do the same thing as I would. What a jam-packed segment right there about rallies and masks. That was great, Trump.
A mess like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen.
The biggest mask I've ever seen.
Look,
What a jam-packed segment. Great Trump lines. I spoke too soon. Trump's getting to my point. Right here.
Shut it down again. He will destroy this country. You know, a lot of people
Right here.
between drugs and alcohol and depression,
Domestic
when
violence,
you start shutting it down, you take a look at
suicide.
what's happening in some of your Democrat-run states where they have these tough shutdowns. And I'm telling you, it's because they don't want to open it. One of them came out
They want
last week. You saw that.
max pain and
Oh, it'll
suffering
open
till
up in November,
after the
yeah,
election.
November 9th, because it's after the election.
Yep.
They think they're hurting us by keeping them closed. They're hurting people.
They want everyone to blame
People know
Trump
what to
till
do.
after the
They can
election.
social distance,
Lockdown
they can wash their
is
hands,
way
they can
worse
mask,
for
they can do
everyone's
whatever they want.
mental
They gotta open these states up.
health.
When you look at North Carolina,
At least he got into it a little bit there. Good. So
Pennsylvania enforced
That's not true. That's not. Look,
All right, who do you have? Name one group that supports you. Name one group that came
uh-oh,
out and supported
he went in a fog.
We have time.
we don't have time to do
No,
anything.
all right. Name one law enforcement group that came out and supported you.
He's lost.
I don't think there were.
He has BLM groups supported him, but no police groups, no law and order groups, no being a good person group. Just BLM groups, rioting, terrorizing, harassing patrons, diners and restaurants, vandalizing, looting, and rioting, and blocking cars and getting ran over in the freeways.
Not an organization.
You got it.
Not listen. That's what his
Tonight, yeah.
his FBI director said.
Well, then you know what?
No, we're done, sir. We're
Everybody-
moving on to the next.
everybody-
We're moving
When a bat hits you over the head, that's not an idea.
Everybody in their administration tells
When a bat hits you over the
I
head.
tell you what,
He just talked about Harley's bat.
Antifa is a danger.
When a bat's hitting you over the head, that's not an idea. That's an organization, terrorist organization. Keep saying this multiple times now.
in
More
terms of
violent.
being more violent. When we were in office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today. He's president of the United States.
Second
On his
time
watch.
that he's
And
brought
with
this
regard
up, and
to
Trump is
more
insane.
violent-
Dude, because of some cop, George Floyd, which triggered so much violence after that, because of the virus making people so restless, without jobs, desperate, none of that has anything to do with Trump. It has to do with Democrat mayors allowing protests and riots to continue and now fueling the China virus, so the China virus resentment and blame game and to hate Trump until the freaking election. And then, oh yeah, okay, now masks aren't needed, now the gyms and the bars and everything can open. Now y'all can make money again. It's so crazy. America is more violent under Trump. Yeah, well, because the China virus was unleashed intentionally. It's so crazy.
That was a hot mess inside a dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire.
Inside a train wreck. That was the worst debate I had ever seen. In fact, it wasn't even a debate. It was a disgrace. And it's primarily because of President Trump, who spent
Joker.
the entire time interrupting, not abiding by the rules that he agreed to, lying, maliciously attacking the son of the vice president.
Joker style.
Look,
Look, the whole thing was disgraceful. The whole thing was disgraceful.